What's going on, everyone? We are back in the shop. Got that Airstream Custom. Broke it down. I already did the handle. Double bushings in the reel. Double bearings in the reel knobs. Definitely smoother. These are stock. Comes with 2 bushings in the knobs. And this is after I get done with it. So it comes with these tiny little bushings here. It comes with 4 of those, 2 in each knob. I took those out, replaced them with ball bearings. Boca ABEX 7 orange seals. So I replaced them with those. I've got those in stock if anybody needs them for any other, Airstream Customs or any of your other reels that have bushings in your knobs. I've got those in stock. So, they spin so much nicer. It's so much smoother. I won't have to worry about these bushings slowing it down or anything. So a little bit smoother reel. So I took the worm gear out, and it does have 2 bushings. It's got one on the end, and it's got one underneath this gear, which is going to be tricky to get off. Nothing is easy, so I'm going to replace these bushings with bearings. There's one on the end here. So I'm going to put this guy in, and then I've got to take this guy off this clip here. Bear with me. It's a little tricky. You got to use these pliers, and it's kind of a pain. So let's see if I can get this off. So I popped it off. The trickiest part is really not to ding up any of these gears, because then you have to buy new gears. So, and then this guy should just slide right off, and it does, and that bushing just popped right off. And then you want to slide this guy right back on. It's got a tapered area here, so you slide that back on, and then you got to stick the clip back on. If you can see that clip, I've got to get that guy back on very gently. So there's that bushing and that bushing right there. Let's see if I can get this guy on. Not doing it on camera because I have to do this in my lap. It's a little easier for me to do it in my lap and not on the camera. All right, cool. Got it on. It's good to go. It's good to go. It's on. I hope. No, it's on. So let me put this guy back in there very gently. Can already feel how smooth it is. All right, so now everything's just pretty much surgery. I gotta put the paw guide back on. Everything's pretty tough to do since I'm doing this on camera. It is kind of tougher to do it. Let me see if I can move this guy over. Alright, make sure that thing's seated in. There it goes. And then there's a little channel, this little pin. You gotta get this pin in. It is tough. So the pin goes in. Once the pin is centered, there is an O-ring that goes in as well. Again, just so many small parts and pieces. O-ring is on like butter. All right, so that is that. I wish I was done, but I'm not. So you've got these washers. These washers that you got to put on. I'm going to put a little bit of oil. Just a little bit of oil. On the bearing. Alright, so oil's on the bearing just to keep them lubed up. Alright, so you got this washer here. Washer needs to go on top. And you've got another washer here. That washer's got to go, so you got to get them all squared away. So then you've got another clip. Again, another clip, which I'm going to do off camera because it's a pain to do. Alright, so I got it. I had to do a little finagling here, but I got it. Smooth as butter. I'm going to put on the nose piece now. Yeah, the nose piece here. Got a couple screws. And then I'm going to put on some of my Duthlon stuff just because I'm doing that to all the reels that I get in personally. Again, just to see how it does. I know a couple guys have wanted it on their reels, which is fine. I just want to test it out for anything. It's from what I've seen and everything, it's very solid stuff. Very, very nice stuff. But I'm going to be using the, not the drag grease, I'm going to be using the ceramic and the semi-fluid grease. And you put it on with the brush because it's easier that way, I feel. You also don't use up a lot that way. But I've got all the stuff ready to go. So I'm going to go with the semi-fluid grease first because you use the most of that. I'm going through it pretty good. I've gone through a bunch of my reels, a couple customer reels and all that kind of stuff. But you really just want to brush it on the gears. Just a little bit. Just like any other reel. I will say doing the worm gear, I would say is a little bit more advanced than your standard just busting the reel open. There's just some small parts, and everything has to fit perfectly for the gears to mesh and all the stuff that's going on in here. But it's not terrible if you've done a few thousand reels maybe, but it's not the easiest to do, and that's why a lot of guys send me their reels to do some upgrades and just do general cleaning because I do it all the time. Brush this guy on. A little bit of grease goes a long way. You don't need a ton. Especially with this stuff, the semi-fluid, it's kind of like a grease oil mixture. Pretty good stuff. So, put that guy on. Drag goes on. Spin this guy around. just had to go get some more reels from the Postal Service. Looks like a guy sent me about 30 more reels. Thankfully, I just got done with all my reels that were in the shop, so now I can. Alright, so that's that. Let me put a little bit here on these clutch springs. A little bit on the clutch springs to keep them lubed up. I'm going to put a little bit down here. All the friction points. I'm going to stick some on the actual worm gear here. Get some of this off. Put some on there. Should be good to go for now. I'm gonna switch over to ceramic grease, which is gonna go on the main gears. This stuff is pretty sticky as well. It's good stuff though. Again, I'm just gonna kind of brush it on the individual gears, the teeth, and kind of turn the gear around. And it should be enough once I start spinning this. Should start catching on all the teeth and everything. Start filling in the gaps. Alright, so that's really all you need for the main gears. It doesn't need a whole lot, which is nice. This stuff will go a long way. You just go through the semi-fluid grease a lot because I use it on everything. Looks like there is a bearing underneath the pinion here. Put some oil on that. Put this guy back on very carefully. Put the bearing support. Put a little oil on that. And then with this guy, it came with 3 Allen screws. So you'll need an Allen wrench. A lot of the new reels are coming with Allens just because it's harder to strip and they're easier to take out. Opposed to their stupid flathead screws that they always use on like their Tatulas and stuff. I wish they would just use these or Phillips, just because they're easier to take in and out. And then the third one, it's hard to tell, you can kind of get it in there. Goes in here and they got a slot that they've drilled out. So almost ready to go. Put a little grease on there. Spin this guy on just to get it seated. And then once it's seated, put the spring back on. And then it comes with 2 washers for your handle. Don't Dump the handle on so it's flush. Screw. Let's see. I have to go through all my, put the spool on. Put a little oil on the end here. I'm gonna put some grease on there. Just barely a bit, just a little bit there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, should be good to go now. I just gotta put the little retaining plate on. Put the retaining plate on. Put the retaining screw on. Put the retaining screw on, if it will freaking go on. There it goes. There it goes. And there you go. Upgraded it. 2 bearings. So I went from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. From 6 to 12 bearings, I essentially doubled them. Bushing. Now it is up to par with the Gekabesian and just super smooth now. So now it's ready to go. I think I'm going to dump this on my DX702 and throw shaky heads on it. I might put like some 8-pound line on there, but there you go, guys. That is the upgrade to the Silver Creek Custom. Awesome reel, beautiful reel. Smash that thumbs up, guys. Post down below. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you guys later.